Saturn's direct in Scorpio on the 2nd. And Mercury will ingress into Virgo on the 7th and Mars into Leo on the 8th. I'm Pastor Rosemary, Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is your weekly angelic horoscope transmission for August 2nd, Sunday through August 8th, Saturday. I'm Pastor Rosemary. Thank you for joining us. This week, we're going to try something just a little bit different. We're going to give you the planetary aspects and the astrological facets, and we're going to also give you away just a little, just a little taste of magic, a little touch of magic, so you can learn how to invoke angels at specific times to help you with specific things. For example, this Saturn has been retrograde in Scorpio, and it's been a bear for people. And if you want to feel that things are easing up, the universe is going to do that for you anyway. In God's great clock, things are going to start to move forward a little bit, and you won't feel quite so bound down by events. You'll feel a little more freedom, no matter what, because the angel Barchiel of Scorpio is going to allow Saturn's angel Cassiel passage through in a forward motion. Of course, it's they say it's an illusion, but what we see affects us, and we're very affected by the symbols of life. So let's just understand that, and understand that that's how magic works anyway. So what we want you to do is gather some incense to make it simple. And this is on the 2nd, because on that day, on the 2nd of August, Saturn, that's the day it goes direct in Scorpio, which is the 8th house. You want to utilize the book of Psalms, and you want to use Psalm 119, that's verse 105 to 112, covers the Hebrew letter for Scorpio, which is Nun. That is what you want to read out loud, and you want to use for the angel Cassiel's invocation, which is Saturn, myrrh, the incense of myrrh, and you also want to use for Scorpio, for Barchiel's angel, you want to use benzoin, okay? And that will help bring this in a way that is most sweet to the Lord Jesus Christ and the Lord your God, okay? And then that way, this will help you to free up your creativity without getting bound down in a lot of chaos. Because once the creativity starts to move forward, we don't remove Saturn from Scorpio at this time. When we do, that'll be another story. But at this time, when we have it moving forward again, Saturn through Scorpio, it will at least help to free up some of the restrictions that you feel have been a bit overdone. And then you can express yourself creatively a bit more. And that will make you feel much better in the areas of creativity in your life, no matter how you express yourself creatively. The verses that you want to use to invoke the proper angels for the incense, you want to use Revelation 8:3-4. And another angel came and stood before the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given to him much incense, that he should offer of the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which is before the throne of God. And then verse 4, and the smoke of the incense of the prayers of the saints ascended up before God from the hand of the angel. So here you see you have plenty of reasons to use incense given to you by Jesus Christ to John of Patmos. Now for the 7th of August we have Mercury ingress Virgo, and Mercury is direct at the moment. It's on August 7th. This is going to cause people to perhaps over-scrutinize things, and people may become a little obsessive-compulsive, a little obsessive-compulsive behavior. You know, but this kind of behavior is taught in jobs that are highly technical. So people that have to be precise because they have highly technically skilled jobs, which they have to perform in a way that is very pristine and precise, this will be a time when you can be at your best. What you don't want to do is get to the point where you can't function. So you want to, but luckily since Mercury is direct, it won't be bad. You won't be confused. You won't have to be so, you won't have to become paranoid in the process, or get to the point where you're doing things so many times that you can't get anywhere. And we're all guilty of that once in a while if we have some of these precision instruments in our chart with Mercury and Virgo and Gemini, those kinds of things. Kind of like a scalpel. All right, now the invocation for this event on the 7th is for the invocation of Raphael. That's the Mercury aspect. You want to use Storax. And for Virgo, the Virgo aspect, that's the 6th house, you want to use Narcissus. Psalm 119, 73 to 80 is the biblical code that will invoke this in its highest form. Now you can use all kinds of other things, of course, to invoke this. I mean, there's a myriad of correspondences you can use. What kind of reaction you'll get from the universe will be determined by what you're using for the invocation, because there are vibrations, frequencies, and energies that you're setting up. Yes? All right. Now we're going to go to the next planetary aspect this week. Remember, we're trying to utilize God's great clock, and it's going to happen the way it's going to happen anyway. Just like the blood moon that's coming, which we're going to go over in our September videos, and we'll keep you up to date on that, because it's an intense time. But if you do the proper invocations that are expressed in the Bible codes, the Bible is a completely coded document. It's nothing but codes. And if you know how to break the codes, then you can utilize these to have a better understanding and be someone who uses it for the highest amount of light to allow into your life when these events occur. Each of these aspects has a good and a bad facet. It has a good and a bad side. Plus, various other angles, like in some kind of a gem, if you will. So what we want to do is use the most positive influences that we can encourage in our own lives. And the reason incense is used in the biblical instructions is because that activates the pineal gland, pineal gland, and that activates the crown chakra. People say it's the third eye, but it does reside above the pituitary gland. The pineal anatomically resides above the pituitary, but it is a residual eye, so there can be debate there. And there's also debates about where the ductless glands are located and the chakras that are emanations thereof. On the 8th, on August 8th, Mars ingress into Leo. That's intense. Okay, so this facet of God's great clock this will make you want to put your best self forward, where you sort of want to dazzle others and sort of burn your way into their hearts, put your brand on their hearts. God writes on the heart, and this brands the heart. So this is going to be, kind of an overdone injection of orgone energy and more, because all this energy of Mars coming through the fixed fire sign of Leo, it's going to really heat things up, and people are going to want to just dazzle you, and you're going to want to dazzle others. Everybody's going to want to feel that they've really done a good job and that kind of thing. So how can you do this in a way that will strengthen and enliven you for this flux of powerful energies from these great astrological, cosmological forces, without it, making you just do something that just makes things to the point where you, again, can't function. Because all of these things, whether it's precision, or whether it's discipline, or whether it's being strong and forceful and dazzling and great and wonderful and hi, I'm vivacious and this, that, and the other thing, each of these things can get you to the point where you cannot function. So we have to use them all in unison so you can keep functioning and functioning well. We want peak performance, but we want you to enjoy yourself and also have fun and also stay well and healthy. It's our goal. All right, so what are we going to use for this on the 8th? On the 8th, what you want to use is, you can use black or cayenne pepper if you're, someone who doesn't, for whatever reason, want to utilize tobacco. I personally don't like using that. So you can use cayenne pepper or black pepper. That's for Samael, that's for Mars, okay? That's the angel, yeah? Some people use tobacco, but that will pull in a slightly different energy than cayenne, or black pepper will be a little cleaner. Tobacco will be a less clean energy. It'll have other aspects to it. Now, Verchiel, that's Leo, and what you want to use is olibanum, and the psalm you want to use is 119, verse 65 to 72, to invoke the Hebrew letter of Teth, which is for Leo, and Leo is the 5th house. So again, you're in, what are we doing here? Okay, we're invoking the angel of the planet into the house of the angel of the sign. So Samael gets invited to Verchiel's house, so to speak. So what we're doing is we're inviting the planetary angel, not the planetary intelligence, the planetary angel, into the astrological house of whatever sign you're utilizing, and we're utilizing the angel of that house. We're using that angel for permission, if you will. That's what we're doing. Because ethical magic is indeed the highest form of white magic. Now we're going to go over Matthew chapter 18, verse 18, and that's, Amen, I say to you, whatsoever you shall bind upon earth shall be bound also in heaven, and whatsoever you shall loose upon earth shall be loosed also in heaven. So basically, whatever you do on earth, the laws you make on earth, are going to be still in effect in the world to come. Either your next incarnation, wherever that may be. Because if you choose to incarnate into flesh, you're going to have to deal with whatever you did in the fleshly realm. And if you're going to just reside in the spiritual realm, if you don't decide to reincarnate, then, if you decide to go through many incarnations in one day, then you won't have to reincarnate into flesh. But still, the laws that you hold for yourself and others will be the laws that you live by. So each day, this is where you touch the part of you that is God. And the part of you that's God is very hard to describe. It's the part of you that's linked to God. It's the spark of God within you. Because the kingdom of heaven, it's within. It's not in anything out there. And you won't find it out there until you find it in yourself. So what we need to do is understand that when people want to put their restrictions and their corrections on us, that's merely a reflection of our own ego coming at us through what might be called Lucifer, through light, because everything that we project out is light. We project light out from our eyes, and when that happens, we pretty much project our intentions onto the screen in front of us. That is life. And we think that by concentrating on what we will to happen, that's going to make it happen, and we get very frustrated when it doesn't, because what we're not doing is understanding our shadow side. We're not understanding that the very things we fear are nothing but us. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Rosemary, Astrology Angel, and join us again next week.